Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Evan Dreyer. I am Mayor Hancock's Deputy Chief of Staff. I'm going to spell my name for you and then we'll jump in. If anybody needs a sound adjustment, now would be the time to do it as well. Evan is E-V-A-N. Last name is Dreyer, D-R-E-Y-E-R. Again, Deputy Chief of Staff to Mayor Hancock. We wanted to give you all an update on the migrant and asylum seeker situation that is unfolding in Denver. As you are all likely aware, we activated our Emergency Operations Center this morning to help us coordinate the response to the ongoing challenges with this. First off, we want to extend a bunch of thank yous to folks, particularly our community. The community has been extremely generous, stepping up, offering donations and support, and we are grateful for that support. We wanted to say thank you right off the bat. We also want to thank the nonprofit partners who have been working diligently to help provide services and support to the folks who are arriving as well. A few of those specifically are the American Friends Service Committee, Colorado Hosting Asylum Network, and Volunteers of America, Colorado. I also want to thank our congressional delegation for offering their support, and the state as well. We are engaged in conversations with them about how we can all best partner. As you can imagine, one of the most challenging aspects of this has been the immediate sheltering and housing needs. So part of what we want to do today is to put a call out to our faith-based, nonprofit, and non-governmental organization community for their help as well. Moving forward, we anticipate that we will need their assistance in providing shelter and housing for folks. So we want to put that call out today. And we will have more on that in the days ahead, but we do want to get folks in that community, those communities, starting to think about how they can help us. We're grateful and we look forward to continuing to work with those communities right now, but we're going to need their support moving forward with long-term solutions. If you are a member or leader of one of those organizations and you think you can provide some support and assistance to us, we're going to direct folks to our website initially, denvergov.org/OEM. Again, www.denvergov.org/OEM. For individuals who are interested in making monetary donations, we're going to direct you to a handful of the nonprofits that are helping right now, and those would be Denver Community Church, American Friends Service Committee, Colorado Hosting Asylum Network. We're going to put their donation links on our website, that website that I just mentioned, denvergov.org/OEM. We are still working to establish a location for a physical donation drop-off. And once that has been established, we will put that on the website as well. But again, we're still working to establish a location and a process for folks who want to contribute physical donations. We hope to have that up later today. Community members who are interested in volunteering, we are grateful for the support and the help. We also are directing folks to that website as well, people who want to volunteer to help as well. All right, a couple of facts that we wanted to provide some updated information for you. We have seen a steady influx of migrants to Denver over the last couple of months. We think about 300 migrants have come to Denver over the past 2 months. Over the past week, what had been sort of a slow, steady stream of folks coming increased significantly. On Friday, December 2nd, and into last weekend, a group of 40 to 50 migrants began arriving at the Denver Rescue Mission. On Monday night into Tuesday, approximately 90 folks arrived in Denver. From what we've been able to glean, from what they've told us, they were dropped off at Denver Union Station and they made their way to the Denver Rescue Mission. When that significant number of folks arrived here, we moved quickly to activate an emergency shelter at a rec center. And as of this morning, we're hosting 120 migrants in that emergency shelter. 120, and we've been made aware that there are more arriving today. We'll have an additional number, or more accurate, we will have a number for you later today, probably this evening. Again, from what we've learned from those folks who arrived earlier this week, they are from Central and South America, and several of them confirming that they are from Venezuela. From what we've been able to gather, there was sort of an informal gathering, some on social media, among those folks themselves. This does not appear to be anything that was organized by another government entity to direct people specifically to Denver. So we just want to make that clear for you all again. We do not think that that was the case. No evidence of that. We're going to continue to talk to folks and work with them to try to better understand how and why they came to Denver. But the fact is they are here, and we have a responsibility to try to take care of them, and that's what we are doing to the best of our ability. Again, we appreciate the community's support. We think that this is probably an ongoing situation, and we are working on longer-term solutions. We hope to do that with the community. Our immediate concern is making sure that in the cold weather that we're taking care of folks and they have a warm welcome here in Denver. With that, I'm happy to answer a couple of questions.
I know you said you're still working to determine why they're here in Denver specifically, but in the conversations your staff members have potentially had, have they hinted why they chose Colorado versus, let's say, Florida or something like that?
Any hints?
No.
No. I mean, I think geography, too. We're not that far from the border. And I think some folks have Colorado as a destination, and they have purpose, a job, family, friends. You got a question over here?
Can you explain the nature of the transportation they took that led them to Union Station? And was it a series of transports that were all similar? Was it random buses that they happened to get themselves on? Can you elaborate on that?
Hi, I'm Britta Fisher. I'm the Chief Housing Officer for the City and County of Denver. And the primary place that we have interacted with people is at the homeless shelter system. And what we have heard from those arriving is a myriad of things. Some have arrived through Denver International Airport. Some have arrived through buses. Some have arrived through personal vehicles. So it really is a myriad of modes of transit that people have arrived to Denver and at different locations, both airport and Union Station and other bus drop-offs.
But the large portion of people who got here on Monday night, we've heard a lot about, they came into Union Station and then they went to Denver Rescue Mission. Is it clear they arrived by bus and they arrived in some sort of coordinated fashion?
I don't know about the coordinated aspect of that, but yes, bus to Denver Union Station.
Can you talk a little bit more about this social media element? So there was coordination amongst the people to come here. Like, what are you hearing about that?
So some of them said that they were communicating on Facebook, and that there was a group of them that then obtained transportation to Denver. And I think that's really about as much as we've gleaned so far.
You said you know that more are coming. How are you getting word of that? How is that coming to you?
They're, like Britta said, they've been showing up at the Denver Rescue Mission, and so we have had some additional arrivals today.
There was someone who told me, one of the migrants told me that there was a coordinator on the ground along the border that was suggesting to them that Denver would be a great place to come because it would be a welcoming place. You could find food and shelter here. Have you heard anything about a program coordinators was the word they used that said Denver's a good place to go, you should go there?
No, we haven't heard that.
When it comes to more migrants come in, as you mentioned just now, you're expecting more to come to the city. How is the city getting prepared for more influx of them arriving?
Yeah, so that is really the reason that we activated our Emergency Operations Center. It's a coordinating effort that brings all of our different city agencies and then partner organizations together to establish a plan, establish locations, so that we are able to take care of folks. We're in a little bit of an information vacuum. We don't know. It's not like we're getting a phone call that says, hey, there's a bus on the way. That would be very helpful. But we're trying to plan for and anticipate that there will be more folks arriving.
When it comes to the topic of security, you cited concerns for security when it came to disclose the location of the shelter. Where are those concerns with security when it comes to that?
I think we're just trying to maintain everybody's privacy and safety.
What states are these folks coming from?
Central America, Venezuela are the
No, not nation states,
Yeah.
like U.S. states. Like, are they coming on a bus from Texas? Are they coming on a plane from Texas?
Yeah, I'm not sure that we know.
Is this putting a strain on your resources in the sense of I cannot imagine that all of your staff members are bilingual and they speak Spanish? Are you having to get volunteer translators? Like, what's the situation there?
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, it is not completely unanticipated. We have been planning and preparing for this for the last few months. But yeah, it is definitely an added strain.
So do you foresee setting up a more permanent shelter space like the one that you started 2 months ago that could accommodate the numbers that you're seeing today?
Again, in the absence of information about how many, who specifically are coming, it's hard to say.
Can you give us a cost
Let me
estimate?
give this guy a chance.
What is the breaking point, or when does it become a situation where you need to activate? Because you said there was a slow trickle
Yeah.
of migrants earlier. And was it just the sheer number in this particular, or was it the unannounced?
Yeah, it was that arrival of 90 all at once. And I think this sort of phenomenon has happened in other cities too, where there's a slow, steady arrival rate, and then there's a spike. And that really not just stresses, but threatens to break the system.
Evan, you had mentioned.
Can you give us a cost estimate, how much so far the city has spent on shelter, on food, and where's it coming from? Is this the city's contingency fund, rainy day fund? Where's the money?
I don't know that we have a number yet, but that's something that we're working on.
And will the state help with that in any way? Do you know if the governor and the governor's office will chip in on the funds for this?
We've been talking to the state about a number of different ways that we can partner on this. It's not just a Denver issue. I think the region is experiencing some of this as well, so we want to make sure that we're as coordinated as possible.
Are you
You
saying
guys
that there
provide-
might be other migrants going to other places other
Mhm.
than Denver in Colorado?
Mhm.
Like what other places? Can you tell us?
We've heard about some of them going out to like mountain communities, right? So that is something that we've heard across the state.
I have a question, I don't know if you can answer that, but receiving immigrants from Venezuela especially, who are crossing the border, isn't that contradicting Biden's administration of those that don't come on a plane here? Why are they not maybe being deported? Anything you have to say to that?
Don't know.
Let's talk about legal assistance. Some of them they're gonna ask for political asylum. Are you guys prepared to offer some legal assistance by the government?
I think that we are working to.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ateem Oti. I'm the Director for the Office of Immigrant and Refugee Affairs. We do have what's called the Denver Immigrant Legal Services Fund. And so for individuals who are going to be relocating to Denver, that's a service that will be available to them.
Can you spell your name for us, please?
Yes, my name is A-T-I-M, Ateem, last name O-T-I-I.
With that fund, I feel like it would get dried up pretty quickly given the number of people that have arrived. Are you asking for donations to the fund?
We're always asking for donations to the fund, and the fund's actually, thank you for that question. The fund is actually being held at the Denver Foundation, so you can go to the Denver Foundation website and search Denver Immigrant Legal Services Fund.
Some of the immigrants, they already applied through you guys for political asylum or not yet? What other services you guys are offering?
We don't know. That's the Denver Immigrant Legal Services Fund is a fund, and then nonprofits are the ones, local nonprofits are the ones who do the legal services work.
Team, do you know if attorneys are going to the shelter to speak with the immigrants about possible asylum and any other legal questions they may have?
They are not.
Will they?
Those services will be available, and we have a very robust immigration attorney network in Denver and in Colorado, so that will be available to them, but they're not as of right now.
So how are they gonna know that you guys are offering this service? Are you guys telling them?
We'll be sharing that information, and it's a resource for those who will be staying in Denver.
be
When it
clear.
comes to resources that you're talking about generally, what are those resources that are being offered at the shelter? We know some immigrants we've talked to, they wanna go to another place. Denver is not their final destination. Can you talk a little bit about what's being offered generally?
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mimi Sherman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Denver Human Services. The asylum seekers that come to the shelter are then being triaged to understand if this is their final destination. If it is not, we are arranging for their transportation to wherever their final destination is.
That includes, maybe buses, planes?
Whatever is available to get them there the quickest.
Mimi, do you know if they have to have a sponsor in another location in order for them to leave here?
They do not.
Has any of the DHS or Homeland Security contacted you guys about their status here, and if they might be asking any questions about how long they will be staying here?
We have not had any of that kind of contact.
Do you have a sense of the proportion of people who have somewhere else to go right now versus need longer term care?
You know, the off-the-cuff numbers that I've heard is of that group that came, maybe 30, but that's not a confirmed number. And they have not all been transported out just yet.
30% have a place to go.
No, 30 people.
30 people have a
Of-
place to go elsewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
On that same question, do you have an idea of the proportion of people who have like a pending court case for asylum?
No, we have no idea of any of that information.
Have any family members that may be located in Colorado stopped by where they're located right now to pick up their loved one who did come here to Denver?
I don't know that, and I have not heard that they have.
Are there any children in this group, the ones that are at the shelter or the other?
We had 3 families so far with 3 or 4 children total.
What are the ages?
I do not know.
Have any of the families gone to stay with other families here in town? Like, say there's a family that wants to sponsor someone, have they gone to stay outside of the shelter here in the Denver, Colorado?
I don't know that, and we do not restrict them from leaving. So there have been folks who have left the shelter at their own free will, and we have not asked where they're going or how they're getting to where they're going.
This may be a question for Evan, maybe, I'm not sure. At any point has the city and county of Denver, or perhaps the state of Colorado, been in contact with the governors of Texas or Florida to confirm that this truly is just some sort of social network coordination versus some sort of political stuff?
I don't know, and I can't really speak for the state of Colorado.
Another question that you mentioned that you guys have some sort of information that more may be coming. How do you know that? Is it because you're monitoring social media, or are families telling you that more are coming? I get the sense that there's a strong feeling that you're getting ready for the long haul here. Can you talk more about that, please?
Yeah, I think it's based on experience of the last couple of months. 300 folks arriving over the last couple of months, and then what has been an increase this week. Again, I think we're just trying to plan ahead based on what we've already experienced. I don't know that there's any specific intelligence or information that leads us there, but based on what we've already seen, we want to be prepared.
How does that 300 compare to previous years?
It's a good question.
I would say that we haven't had that as a formal tracking, but that we have heard that from our shelter partners that they were seeing more arrivals. So we've just been monitoring that and serving people, and then we reached capacity.
Could you spell your name, please?
BRITTAFISHER, Britta Fisher, Chief Housing Officer, City and County Denver.
Just one question, a follow up of that question. Why you guys didn't track before and now you guys are tracking based on what you mentioned?
Yeah, so how I was trying to answer that was, it's not like a formal thing that we had tracked, but our providers were staying very close communication with our shelter partners, and we heard from them over these last few months about what they were seeing as an uptick and a slow growth, and then this week a certain escalation of arrival.
I'll just ask you this, Evan. In the beginning of this, did you believe that this was a political action, that one of the governors of these states sent people here, or where did the city initially frame that?
I mean, I don't really want to speculate. It didn't have that feel because there was no political messaging associated with this. So it never really felt to me like it was anything other than folks arriving.
Can you talk about based on previous reporting, we know that some of the buses that came before, they are associated with, among these communities, you know, that are helping them, not necessarily sent them by ICE, but this bus in particular, the one that came 2 days ago, it looks like nobody sent it. How do they arrive here? How do they took the bus and came to Denver?
I'm not sure that we know the answer to that question.
If it were spreads that, for example, let's say that, you know, these I guess asylum seekers or these migrants are being accepted with open arms, that could potentially lead to more people choosing to come to Denver. Will it ever get to the point where the city of and county of Denver or the state are just like, please do not come, we do not have the resources anymore for you? Or will you guys always try to kind of find those resources?
Yeah, I think we're trying to manage the situation today, do some planning for tomorrow. That's not really a question that we've gotten to.
What are the migrants saying to you when it comes to the whole time it took for them to come from the border to arrive here? Any information when it comes to that?
I'm not sure that anybody here in this room has that level of detail for you.
Can you talk about your relationship with the nonprofit community? What roles are they taking on, and would you be able to do this if you didn't have that support?
I think it's safe to say we would not be able to do this if we didn't have their support. This is really a community response. And we are grateful for our nonprofit community and the generosity of the people of Denver.
Do you get the sense that there might be like a nonprofit organizer somewhere who's like kind of giving folks the idea that Denver is a welcoming place and telling them where to go? No?
You know, we're on the verge of a tough COVID season, and we're already kind of in the middle of a flu season. How does that complicate you guys' response?
We've been dealing with COVID for almost 3 years. RSV, the flu, it's a tough winter normally, and so I think we do have some protocols in place to try to make sure that everybody is healthy. Some protocols in place if folks are sick or symptomatic, that we can get them the kind of care and help that we need. I think it was yesterday or the day before we had healthcare providers, nurses out there trying to tend to folks' medical needs, healthcare needs.
Do you have any kind of number, and forgive me if I missed this earlier, but on the cost of this per day, or what has it cost so far, or just some forecast about where you'll be with the financials on this?
Don't have any financials for you today. It's a follow-up on that question. We'll try to get that for you as quickly as we can. But yeah, there is a cost associated with this, for sure.
And where will the money come from? Is there something in the budget that has been set aside for this type of event?
Right now, we're absorbing this through general fund, working with our nonprofit partners. We have been talking with some of our finance folks about potential federal reimbursement opportunities.
Evan, during your initial presentation, I got the impression that while there was a trickle of migrants coming to Denver, this was something different. Can you just clarify if you feel like this is just an increase of something that was already happening, or is this like a categorically different kind of influx?
I think it's still hard to say. We're still within the same week of when we got 90 in one day, but it has slowed back down, I think, to 20 to 30 per day. That's still significant, and still puts a serious strain on our system. But I think we probably need another week or two of experience in order to really answer your question.
There's word that there might be 100 more or somewhere around that number coming tomorrow. That's according to nonprofits that have communicated with legal assistant attorneys. Anything you guys know about that information?
No, but thanks for the heads up.
Is there a sense of pride because there are states and cities in this country that aren't as welcoming. Is there a sense of pride for your department that you can do this, that you can make them feel welcome?
I think it's a sense of pride for the community, the city as a whole. Denver historically has been a welcoming community, and we're trying to maintain that tradition and make sure that there is a warm welcome mat for folks who do arrive here.
I would like to know, at some point, will we be allowed into, respecting their privacy and dignity, but it would be nice if a media camera, if at least one, would be allowed in to show the public what it looks like in that shelter. Is that something you would consider?
We can go back and talk about that request.
Thank you.
Yeah. One more.
How many did you say you were expecting today? Another 20 to 30 today, or is that tomorrow?
This morning got word that there were another 20 who had
Arrived
arrived.
today or
Yeah.
coming?
Oh, arrived today.
20 more today.
Yeah.
Just
And
to
one
put
more
it
quick one.
in historical perspective,
It's all
has,
right.
has this center ever opened because of a humanitarian crisis like this?
Well, yeah, we've been, maybe not at this scale, but we certainly have been Afghan refugees. I think we've had some Ukrainian refugees as well.
Just a quick follow-up. At the beginning, Evan, you talked about the call out for the nonprofits and religious organizations when it comes to sheltering.
Mhm.
Is there like a ballpark figure of the beds that you would like to see available, or homes, or anything like that?
Great question. It's hard to say. I mean, it could be a dozen, it could be 250. We don't know
Yeah.
yet, so,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
All right, everyone, that concludes today's press conference. Thank you so much for coming out. We're going to continue to provide updates as they become available. As you all can imagine, this is a very complex situation, and we're doing our absolute best to ensure that we get the most accurate and timely information to you as possible. So again, stay with our website, denvergov.org/OEM, and we're going to put updates on there, and then feel free to contact our JIC when we have updates. We will share them. Thank you.